What's up, Dragon Slayers? So today's video is about high blood pressure and its connection to insulin resistance, part 1. Having excessive high blood pressure, or hypertension as it's medically known, dramatically increases the likelihood of developing heart disease. As the pressure in your blood vessels increases, your heart has to work ever harder to move blood adequately throughout your body and all of its tissues. The heart can only meet this strain for so long. If it's not treated, it ultimately results in the heart failing. There's no debate, insulin resistance and high blood pressure are related. When patients consistently have both, that's evidence of a clear association. And almost all people with hypertension are insulin resistant. This isn't news to medical professionals. However, what is news is that they're not just related. We're coming to understand that insulin resistance and high insulin levels directly cause high blood pressure. The reason this is so important is that you'll recall the overwhelming majority of people with insulin resistance don't even know they have it. For someone who has just been diagnosed with hypertension, that may be the first evidence that they have insulin resistance. Yet, if you've been diagnosed with high blood pressure, there is a silver lining. Yes, the connection between insulin resistance and hypertension is very strong. But that also means that insulin resistance, as it improves, patients generally see quick improvements in their blood pressure as well. Over the years, we've come to understand just how insulin resistance and the accompanying hyperinsulinemia work in concert to chronically increase blood pressure. One of the ways that insulin increases blood pressure is through its actions on the hormone aldost- or, aldosterone. I might be pronouncing this wrong. Aldosterone helps to regulate the balance of salt and water in your body. Sodium and chloride, the two parts of salt, are both critical electrolytes that enable all of our body cells to function properly. Aldosterone signals the kidneys to hold on to sodium and reabsorb it into the blood so it's not expelled through your urine. Thus, if your adrenal glands release more aldosterone into the blood, your body will retain more sodium. And where sodium goes, so too does water. This increases the amount of water in the blood, effectively raising the blood volume, and with it, the pressure. Insulin naturally increases aldosterone levels in the body, so if you have more insulin, as during insulin resistance, its effect on your aldosterone happens abnormally often, and accordingly, it's increasing your blood volume and potentially raising your blood pressure. This is very likely explaining the remarkably tight association of insulin resistance and hypertension or high blood pressure. It also explains why carbohydrates, which release insulin more than any other nutrient, so effectively increase blood pressure, while dietary fat has no effect. Some people develop hypertension due to excess salt intake, but others can eat lots of salt and have no such response. People who develop hypertension from salt consumption are known as salt sensitive hypertensives. In a healthy state, when we eat salt, the body senses the increased salt and turns aldosterone off so the kidneys excrete salt and water. This ensures normal blood pressure. However, in an insulin resistant state, the body has artificially elevated the levels of aldosterone. So when such a person eats salt, the kidneys disobey normal physiology by retaining salt rather than excreting it along with water. Over time, this leads to an accumulation of body water that increases blood volume and also raises blood pressure. So I can testify to this because I used to have high blood pressure. And as I lowered my carbs, I was able to increase my sodium and my blood pressure still continued to go down. So it is not the salt itself that's the enemy, but again, the carbs that push the insulin. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Stay tuned for part 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out, guys. And remember that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.